Welcome to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the show, leave a comment, and click that like button. Let's talk some basketball here. Hey, let me ask you a question.
Good old
Do
NBA.
you remember the NBA in-season tournament? You remember that?
The what?
Yeah, exactly.
The what?
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know. What's the point of these things? I don't get it, man. The in-season tournament, the play-in game. It's like, come on, man.
That was one of the dumbest money grabs that I ever seen NBA do.
Right.
It was just a straight money grab. They tried to hype it up.
Right.
They had colors and changing colors on the court like that. Wait a minute, are you still playing basketball? Did the rules change? Okay, so why you need all these colors?
Right.
Oh, that's to signify this is a color game. This is in-season game. Okay, but now you got people running scores up because I don't know if you ever watched one of those color games. Keep calling them color games, those in-season tournament games. But one of the tiebreakers that they had was the score, your margin of victory. That's what it was. Margin of victory.
Really?
Yes, that was one of your tiebreakers. So at some of the end of the games, you had people scrambling to score. Like, I mean, literally with 1 minute to go, you know how the last second, the last 24 seconds, they just hold the ball because the other team is up?
Yeah.
No, they still trying to score. They're still trying to score. And when I say trying to score, I don't mean like you're playing defense and all that stuff. They was like basically running up and down the court and half defense was being played. It was just weird. And when I saw that, I said, why are they doing? Why are they still scoring? And then I found out that it was
it's all a gimmick, man. It's just like, look,
super gimmick.
Just keep things the way they were. Play your 82 games and go to the playoffs, man. No, nobody really cares about what's going on in the in-season tournament in the regular season. We really just waiting to get to the playoffs, NBA. That's it.
Yeah, really though. Really.
We tolerate the 82 games because it determines who makes the playoff.
Right.
And then we're in the playoffs. Let's just play the playoffs.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
I don't get it, man. To me, the in-season tournament is just another game. Don't hype it up with all this other foolishness. It's another game. If you want to expand the league and expand the revenue, let's expand it with more teams.
Yes.
There's plenty cities begging you to give them a team. Give them a team.
Yep.
The market can handle it.
So easy. So easy. I mean, and then really what they need to do is they need to reduce the amount of games in the season. Right. They're not going to do it, but that's what they need to do. Because look at this. You got nobody even plays 82 games anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's sitting down, resting. You know what I'm saying? They got back-to-backs. They don't want to pay. They're in the front end of back-to-back, a back end of the back-to-back. They don't want to play 2 games in 2 days in a row.
Right. So, and that's my solution. Get rid of the back-to-backs. Get rid of the back-to-backs. No more back-to-backs. If you got to extend the season for another 2 weeks or a month, do it.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get around the 82 games. But this is what I would change. And I know a lot of people disagree with me on this. Hear me out.
Leave it in the comments. Leave it in the comments if y'all
Leave it in the comments. I've said it before. Stop playing 7-game series, especially in the first round. We don't need a 7-game series. Go back to the days when the first round was a 5-game series, and let's get out of it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We're waiting on it. We're waiting on the playoffs. Now, the end of the season gets a little hype because teams are jockeying for position. Teams are trying to make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with the 82 games. And plus, the league has been playing 82 games for many years. But just get rid of the back-to-backs. Get the 80, get the games spread out enough where we can play that. Get rid of the first round. I think second and third, the second and the conference championship games, they could be 7-game series and the finals. But that first round, we don't need a 7-game series. Make it 5. Hell, make it a 3-game series. Let's get the hell out of it and get to the daggone second round of the playoffs where we got the meat and potatoes of the playoffs with the better teams competing against each other. But I think the NBA has expanded it so much It's just and I don't and hear me out. And like I say, I know people are gonna disagree with this part. I'm okay with the players resting, and here's why: you got an 82 game season, you got an in season tournament, you got a play in game, you got what 4 7 game series in the playoffs that they have to play. They're playing well over 100 games a season. So you asking Steph Curry, who's going to back-to-back finals and conference finals, and LeBron James, who's 38 years old, that's going back-to-back conference finals, to show up next year and be 100% with a few months of rest. That's a lot. That's a lot, especially on 30-something-year-old athletes. The bodies start breaking down. They have to start rest. I remember when the Spurs used to do that with Tim Duncan. They used to put on the scorecard, a reason for rest, a reason out for the game, old. Remember they used to put that? They used to put old.
Nice. I know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Popovich put that one time on there, old.
That is funny.
And it's funny, but you got to think about it. That was back in the day when the Spurs were always going to the conference, the Western Conference Finals, always going to the finals, back to back years, 100 games. You got older players in their mid 30s, and Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Tim Duncan, older players competing every year, 100 and something games, and that's a lot. So I can understand the load management. But like you said, the best thing for him to do is to reduce the number of games. I say reduce them in the playoffs to help the players out. Playoffs are more intense, and you got the 7 game series. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I guess they are trying to save them for the playoffs. That's the main thing, is make sure they're fresh for the playoffs, because they get wore out by the time the playoffs come around. But it's just, I just hate that I grew up in the old days of basketball when everybody tried to play 82 games they could, because I didn't really see no drop off in the playoffs back in the day. I don't remember seeing that. Well, I remember going through whole 82 games, playing, like Jordan played 82 games like 7 or 8 times.
Right. But remember, Jordan only played a 5 game series in the first round.
Well, that's one round.
But that's less stress on you in that one round.
It's like two different. It's like a potential for 2 more games. But you remember, they was winning in 4 games. Like,
that's what I'm saying. They was winning in 3. They were playing the Washington Wizards or the Bullets back then, and it would sweep them for 3 games and would rest until the second round of the playoffs started. So you didn't have a 7 game series, and then you had to travel to Washington and play 2 games there. Like, take that off their plate. Matter of fact, get rid of the first round. Just have the top 4 teams make the playoffs or something. I don't know. I'm just
I mean, but the NBA is trying to always do more, because more means more money,
right?
So they always going to do more. Anything to get more stuff on TV,
right?
They're going to do it,
right?
So unfortunately, we're never going to get a reduction of anything,
right? and to me, I think that would be the answer. Get rid of the in-season tournament, get rid of the play-in game, reduce the first round to 5 games, and then add more teams. Add more teams.
Yeah.
I mean, the Virginia is begging for a team. You got all of these places. Seattle wants a team back. Give them a team. Hell, put one in North Dakota. Put a team there. Put one in Idaho. Give every state. Get a team.
Well, they can't do that, because they gotta have a place where it's gonna be a lot of people. That's the
right.
You can't do that one, because they don't want people looking at the TV and saying nobody in the crowd.
But I mean, you're not talking about 100,000 people, like go to see a NFL game. 70,000 people, 100,000 people for. You're talking about less than 20,000. What, they put about 18,000, 15,000 in a arena to see a basketball game. Hell, we're getting it done in Utah. So Salt Lake City. Well, Salt Lake City is a growing city. But I'm still in awe, man. They're getting it done in New Orleans. That's not a big market down there.
Yeah, but see, like Washington, right? You can look at a Washington game like on a regular game when it's not like superstars, and when they pan up, you don't see a lot of people out there. You
No,
see a
you
lot of
don't.
empty seats, especially
No.
toward the top. You see like a lot of empty seats.
Well, but they stink.
Yeah, but what you think a team in Idaho gonna do?
But if they stink, yeah, nobody's gonna go.
Exactly.
But if they're good, and
Yeah,
this is what
that would
happens.
be a challenge.
This is what happens with the Wizards. Like, I had Wizards season ticket, and I loved it when they were losing because the tickets were cheaper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I loved it. I loved it. And then I got to see Kobe. Yeah, I got to see Kobe. Those tickets aren't cheap. When you see Kobe, when Kobe was playing, when LeBron was with the Heat,
right?
You know, I saw all of them. I saw Steph Curry before everybody really, knew that he was great. Him and Clay. I saw, Antetokounmpo. I saw all of these guys before they were great, and it was good to see it. Like Kevin Durant and Westbrook before people really knew who they were. You get to see all of that. So it's you get a lot of people in the NBA. They are fans of players. And so it's okay to come out and root for the other team. And that's a big draw. Like Kobe took it, personal when he would travel to say to DC, knowing that the people in DC would only get to see him once a year. So he made sure he played in those games just for those fans.
True that.
And I always appreciated that about him because I got to see him play.
Very true. That is very true. I mean, I remember several times where I was supposed to go and LeBron was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He sat out for some reason.
Yeah.
Or, it wasn't just him. I ain't just picking on LeBron.
Yeah.
But, like some of the stars you think is going to be at the game.
Yeah.
Especially when you done planning a couple weeks in advance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that game. That's the one I want to go to. I want to buy that ticket.
Yeah.
It was not there.
It was a 50-50 chance because keep in mind, when he was in the Eastern Conference, he played against the Wizards twice a year. He would come for 2 home games and he would be 2 away games. So I don't think he would play in both games.
Right.
So,
right. But actually, I do remember specifically one of those games was Kobe. I was supposed to go there and see Kobe, and Kobe was not at that game.
Really?
Yeah, he ended up not showing. Yep.
Because Kobe normally came.
Kobe normally did. No, normally he did.
He must have been really hurt then.
That game he did not come.
Okay, because every time I went, he was there.
Yeah.
And the fans loved him. It's like, everyone came to see him. So.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, let's go and wrap this thing up, man. We do this thing every week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Holla.